Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope you've been enjoying this commemorative coin series. This has been a lot of fun and there's a lot more to come. And today we have a fun one for you. This is a 2-coin set. Now you have to buy the coin individually, but it's a $1 gold and a 50-cent silver piece. They have the same obverse and reverse, so we're not going to be talking too much about the design elements, but we are going to be talking about the history and the life of Ulysses S. Grant. We're going to be talking about the commemorative coin, and then we're going to highlight somebody who's often underappreciated in the world of design. This is going to be a fun episode. Stay tuned. And again, if you like what you see, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps out a lot. Ulysses S. Grant. Well, not really. Actually, his name was Hiram Ulysses Grant. And it got Ulysses S. Grant by a mishap that happened when his father appointed him to the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1843. He was born April 27, 1822 as Hiram Ulysses. However, on the application, when they put it in, they mistakenly put Ulysses Grant, and the S just happened. He could have requested his name be changed. However, it would have requested a new appointment, and he didn't want to do that. So he stuck with the name Ulysses S. Grant and maintained that for the rest of his life. Now, what's fun about this is that, of course, Military Academy, there's got to be a little bit of ribbing when they found out his name wasn't actually Ulysses. So his nickname was United States Grant. I found that a lot of fun. Now, after he was in the United States Academy, obviously joined during a tumultuous time, and the Civil War erupted in 1861. Now, he rejoined the Army after getting out because he understood strategy very, very well. He understood the relentless pursuit of victory, and he was really significant in some decisions that happened in major battles. For instance, Fort Donelson, Shiloh, and Vicksburg. Grant's triumph at Vicksburg was quite pivotal. He split the Confederacy and gave Union control of the Mississippi, and this helped turn the war. 3 years later, Grant would accept an appointment as commander of all the Union by our favorite president, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. And because of his tactics, his coordination, and his conventional understanding of the battlefield, it eventually led to the surrender of the famous Confederate general, Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee would surrender to the general April 9, 1865, and essentially end the Civil War. Following the war, Grant would be elected President of the United States. Now, he was the 18th president, serving 2 terms. These terms started in 1869 and went all the way to 1877. One thing that was really important was that, again, he had been a major contributor and a major supporter of Abraham Lincoln. And one aspect of this that he really continued to strive in his presidency was the support and the continuation of the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, the 15th Amendment was something that granted Black American men the right to vote. Now, this was a big deal because he took a very strong stance against a group that will be unnamed in this video of people who prosecuted and preached messages of hatred and malice against Black Americans. Grant had a hardcore desire for all men to be free and all men to have the right to vote. And despite his efforts to stabilize the post-war nation, he was met with some controversy. For instance, his private secretary was implicated in a conspiracy to cheat the government out of tax revenue. That was shipping from the tippy. He would take a little bit of money from the whiskey campaigns and again, busted them up. Later in his career, he would be tricked by the robber barons Fisk and Good. In the video, I'll be doing another video about this one, but he was tricked into aiding their scheme to manipulate the gold market. This became major problems. Now, he was duped in this, and it cost him dearly financially. Grant also put his brother on the payroll, and one of the problems that he did was he exposed a kickback scheme that made military overpay provisions for people, and again, prosecuted his brother. He was really good to do this. But despite all of this, he repeatedly was shown to have no connection and no profit to this. So a lot of people say Grant was one of the worst presidents there are, and I'm here to challenge that today. I don't think that is, because every time you've looked at it, he always prosecuted wrongdoing, and he was always shown true grit and a man of character. So hopefully this will lean you that way if you lean Grant risked being a bad president. Now, after leaving office, he embarked on a world tour. There were two reasons for this. One, he had received tons of accolades from foreign leaders and dignitaries, and they wanted him to present himself in that light. But the other thing was the scandal that I talked about with Fisk and Good. And again, they took a lot of money in this stock market, in this gold scandal. And because of this, he suffered great financial loss. Now, to recover some of this, he decided to write the memoirs. And unfortunately, just 3 freaking days after writing his memoir, he would die of throat cancer. And he died on July 23rd, 1855. Now, his memoirs would be published posthumously. That means after he died in 1855, which was the personal memoirs of Ulysses S. Grant. Now, this became critical and a commercial success. But to this day, it still becomes one of the greatest military memoirs of all time, and is considered one of the greatest military commemorative writings ever. Now, you talk about things like The Art of War, and you put this up there with that. This is an amazing accomplishment by Ulysses S. Grant. In recognition of all the stuff that she did, they opted to put his coin on a commemorative 50-cent and a gold dollar coin. Now, these coins celebrate Grant's role in preserving the Union and his dedication to civil rights. These designs were given to one of the first lady designers, Laura Garden Fraser. Now, you might know that name, but you might not associate it with her husband, James Earl Fraser. Does that name ring a bell? If not, think Buffalo. Mr. Buffalo Nickel himself, James Earl Fraser. Now, his wife was an amazing designer, and in herself, she had already been noticed and won multiple awards. We talked about one of those coins, but I didn't recognize her in that, and that was the Alabama commemorative $50 in 1921. Remember when I talked about that coin, I talked about the 2x2 design. Again, another one of her ideas. Now, both of the coins feature the exact same design elements. On the front, you have the portrait of Ulysses, and on the back, you have the place where he was born in 1822. You see the dual dates. Now, one cool thing about this coin on the obverse is you'll actually see Ulysses' name. That doesn't happen on very many coins. In fact, modern day coins actually don't allow that to happen at all. So this is something that happened during this time frame. Now, there's one cool feature about this coin, and that is there's a variety. Now, you know through the various videos that I've done, especially when talking about gold dollars, that there are little nuances, little differences on some of these that make them highly valuable. And there is one on this, and it's a small star above the name of Grant on the obverse. Now, this was done to half of the gold dollars due to a mix-up. Now, there are actually put on 5,000 of these dollars as well, but 750 of those would be melted, leaving only 4,250 Grant half stars and 27,650 of the non-star. So if you're going to be looking at purchasing this coin, hint, hint, wink, wink, make sure you're looking for the one with the star above Grant's name. All right, now when we're looking at the total net vintages, we're looking at 67,350 of the silver coins and 5,000 of the gold dollar. Ulysses S. Grant obviously had a legacy that endures not only through his military triumphs, his presidential achievements, but the commemorative coin itself is an honor. Grant's life is a story to the testament and resilience that he faced in his presidency and his early life. His contributions to American history continue to be celebrated. So as you look for coins in this particular series, make sure you seek this one out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next week, we're going to be talking about this coin right here. So stay tuned for that one. And while you're at it, there's these videos that are going to show at the end. One of them is selected by YouTube, and the other one is the series. Consider going and looking at those and watching those if you enjoyed this. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and I will see you next week. Take care.